knowing for yourself does? You know what protecting your energy and protecting your inner peace does? Peace of mind. Who's gonna stop you? Who's gonna stop you after that? When you've cleared out the way, no stress, nobody holding you back, you don't got no haters in your crew, you got a tribe that really unconditionally loves you, you got family that you're devoted to, you're loyal, you got trustworthy people around you, you've created the environment you want, and then it's time to thrive. Are you still gonna be afraid? Are you still gonna be afraid when you have everything that you prayed for and the universe gave to you and you had to fight for it? Are you gonna be afraid? No fear. No fear.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Pull Up Experience Podcast Edition. Now, it's a little bit different for our setup today, and we got a whole new setup. Now, visually outside, we literally outside, and our pull-up game is strong. But more importantly, we are collaborating and taking action. And today, this is a collaborative group joint podcast with Ashley Roberts of It's Just Different Podcast.
It's just different. I'm just saying, it's just different.
Man, when I tell you the vibes have been amazing. Now, this young lady, I just met her last night and we family already. And the way that we met and connected was we both decided to come and invest in ourselves. Specifically, we decided to come to Podcast Summit 2024 in Atlanta, Georgia. Both of us flew in, got here, we got the information, and one of the key takeaways we got from one of the best speakers in the game, David Shands, was an idea is nothing without action. So instead of sitting on ideas and plotting on how we was going to get together, we said we're going to shoot our shot and actually get together. So here we are, still at the summit, making sure that we are doing the work. So shout out to the Podcast Summit 2024 team. Thank y'all for everything y'all continue to do. Now, without further ado, y'all may already know, but if you don't, I'll reintroduce myself. I am Beneficial Bae, and some of y'all just call me Keita. It's like that. You know, we family, whatever, of the Pull-Up Experience. We are an entrepreneur elevation group, all about coming to see you or inviting you to come see us, but more specifically, elevating and pulling up who you are and what your situation is, especially if you are a starting or stagnant entrepreneur. And I got some gems for y'all today. Now, the best thing you can do to get up out of your situation or get to a better level is to find you a shot shooter. And I've been networking, y'all. I'm sitting here with the shot shooter, Ashley Roberts. Please introduce yourself to the people.
Listen, first I'm gonna just say you got me over here feeling good.
Yeah,
like
it's reciprocated.
I love it. I love it. But yes, my name is Ashley Roberts. I have a podcast called It's Just Different Podcast, where I bring on college coaches, I bring on professional players, I bring on a lot of people in the AAU space to help parents go from confused to confident as they navigate their child's journey. So that's what my podcast is about. I'm so excited to be here. I appreciate you. I feel like we just best friends.
We vibe. We do. We are besties.
Like, I feel like we best friends.
I got a business bestie, y'all. It's up. Now, people don't realize, because you being modest, y'all. Let me tell y'all, first of all, what do you do as far as, like, we got your podcast, but how is you outside? Because you be outside.
I be outside.
Where you be at?
I ain't gonna lie, I be outside. I have been at event after event. So let me tell you, I started my podcast, It's Just Different Podcast. Really was just an idea to interview people.
Okay.
I went to an event in October, waiting on my mama, who was late, and I was sitting there and I was like, you know what? I'm about to just interview the people at the event.
Yeah.
And it was outside of my podcast. I started that, and honestly, that's what took off.
Oh, wow.
So I've been to McDonald's All-Americans game, which is the top 24 kids in the country.
Wow.
You know, these are the top 24 kids in the country, girls and boys that I've been able to interview. I've been at some of the top events at the country. Like I said, just going interviewing players. I'm excited to be. We're in July. I don't know when this is releasing, but we're in the month of July.
Yes.
And I'll be at live period, a lot of events where I'm interviewing a lot of these people at the events.
Come on now with it. Now we in Atlanta now. Are you Atlanta based? Where are you from?
No. I'm from Dallas. Went to Duncanville High School. If you don't know Duncanville High School, you might want to look it up. It is the best high school in the country. I went to Duncanville High School. Once I finished there, I went to Austin. I played at University of Texas. Okay. And I feel like I'm both. Like, I'm in Austin, I'm in Dallas, but I'm a Dallas baby.
It's Texas, baby.
It's Texas.
We all the way Ohio, Texas, and we made it into Georgia just by supporting and understanding that we could build our craft and build each other, right? So that's a lot. And that's a thing. Now, Duncanville, only thing we hear from Duncanville, the first thing I think of is Duncan basketball. You a shot shooter, clearly. How did you get started?
As far as in the industry or with
because we all have our talents and we know we're gifted at something.
Yeah.
When is it where you're like, yeah, I'm gonna do this?
So if we're talking strictly with the podcast, so obviously I've been playing basketball all my life. And before that, I actually wrote a book.
What was your position in basketball?
I was a point guard and I was a shooter.
Oh.
Somebody said I'm the best shooter in Texas. I'm just saying, look it up.
Hey, I'm gonna Google it. You do the same.
But when I finished playing, I wrote a book. And I wrote that book because I honestly got tired of hearing my teammates and people that I knew say like, oh, what am I doing when I'm done?
Oh.
And I feel like most of us that play basketball, we've been playing longer than some people on their job.
Nice.
So there is a lot of things that you take from the game of basketball. You just got to know how to apply it.
Yeah.
So I wrote that book and I just felt like it was just, God was telling me like, it's more. And I kept having the idea of the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, at the end of the day, I'm like, I'm too busy. I'm not going to do it. And honestly, last year, I was like, I heard it way too many times of people saying, the kid's different. These kids different. These parents different. They don't understand. And I'm like, why we keep saying that?
Right.
Why not just be the solution? And that's why the name is It's Just Different.
I love that because if you're not part of the solution, you add into the problem.
You the problem. That's why I'm like, I'm going to be a part of the solution.
Okay.
So that's kind of what made me start the podcast. And I'm like, I'm going to bring on these people. We can say they don't understand, they don't get it. Why not give them the information? I got the information, I got the knowledge, I got the connection, I got the resources. Bring it to the people.
So let's dig a little bit deeper in that because I love that. And I know if y'all really want the scoop, y'all got to go back and watch some of these episodes of It's Just Different Podcast. Make sure y'all subscribe on Instagram too. It's Just Different Pod. But I'm going to make sure she give us a little game. Y'all know I'm all about the elevation. She got to pull us up in here. Tell us about some of these differences from when you all were going through the motions versus now that these new age kids and some of the different things, the challenges that they are facing.
Yeah, I think social media. Social media is the biggest thing. When I was playing, and I ain't that old, so I don't want to be like back in my day.
No.
But when I was playing, social media wasn't like that. I wasn't going to a game and the baseline is full of people getting highlights.
Wow.
At the end of the day, and that's pressure. Yeah. That's pressure for a lot of kids. So I think that is the biggest difference. And that could be a good thing and a bad thing, right? I think it's a good thing because now it's easy to get a highlight tape.
True.
It's easy to get recruited because you got so much footage.
Okay.
As far as a bad thing, so many kids, that peer pressure get to you. You don't want to make a mistake. You scared to get crossed over. You scared to have a bad game. You scared to airball because it's going to be on the internet.
Yes.
You get crossed over, it's going right up.
Wow.
So I think that's the biggest difference is social media.
So when kids are struggling with those, a lot of it is mentality before it's reality. And we know that, especially going through all this, right? How do you help them overcome that? Just do it anyway, because it's just different. Yeah. You got to just see.
Confidence. Confidence. And that is the main reason why I go interview these kids. So a lot of people go interview and they interviewing the top players. They interviewing the person who had the best game. Well, if you watch my social media, I got kids who will probably never get an interview in their life. They'll probably never get another interview. And that, to me, that's that confidence.
Yes.
So I'll see, and I'm going to obviously interview the top kids as well.
True.
But my strategy, my main thing is I want to make these kids know that they are special, that they are confident, that they might not get the player of the game. But if they got the confidence, they can go out there and produce.
I love that. And I thank you for pouring into people because one thing that we also heard at the podcast summit was CJ when he said, I respect small.
Oh, respect small.
Because look at how big small grows. And all it takes is for one person to acknowledge that I exist. So one thing I love about you, you have a light that just radiates off of you. You have a beautiful personality. You're beautiful on the outside, but on the inside, you are gifted. And I love that you are willing to share yourself through podcasts, not only to these kids that are playing, but just naturally who you are and sharing your experience.
Yeah.
Was that always easy for you to do?
Yes. Well, not always. I'm not going to say always, but I got used to it. Going back to my book, why I wrote the book. I wouldn't be able to do a lot of things I do now if I didn't realize, I've been doing this. I've been talking to people. I've been networking. I've been dealing with pressure, right? I'm built for it.
Right.
So people, I joke with, or people tell me all the time, how can you just go talk to people and sell a book. I came to Podcast Summit. I came to Podcast Summit with 20 books, y'all. I came by myself, and I said, I'm leaving with 0 books.
How many you got left?
0.
Say that. One more. Can we repeat it?
0. I sold out this morning.
Okay.
So I'm like, I should have brought 40 books.
Absolutely.
But I got that, and I didn't know nobody. But guess what I did? I got up, I talked, I networked. Because if they don't know what you do, how you gonna expect them to buy something?
Right.
You know. So once I did that, once I did it one time, I got better. Okay. And I got better. The first time I was a little nervous. I'm trying to sell this book, but I'm like, I'm gonna talk to you, but I don't know how to talk to you.
Right.
And I got better, and that's reps. That's the same thing with basketball.
Yes.
How do you get better? You put in reps.
Yeah.
You know, so that's how it was with me.
I love it because she came in clutch last night. She literally just pulled me to the side, asked me some questions about how we grew our podcast, and was like, let's do it. Yep. And again, y'all know how it is. You got to be one to be showed, not told. So I can sit here, and I did sit here, and we had a long conversation about it. And from that conversation, we immediately took action and said, you know what? Let's test it. Let's see. So this is part of our let's see strategy. And because I know y'all pull up so hard and y'all mess with us, I expect a follow at It's Just Different Pod, at the Pull Up EXP. I truly expect that. I also want to continue to go back to going and doing the work. That's how you become clutch. You have to continue to do the work, even when you don't see the immediate results. Now, if you really want immediate results, you got to shoot your shot. Now, we out here on the hoops because it's symbolic of everything she does, but not be on the surface level of her basketball background, on a full-fledged level of, girl, I need to talk to you, snatch me, and say, come on. And that's what it was, right? So what could you give somebody some gems for networking? Because what I love about you is you naturally network, and it has been your gift. And because of that natural network, I'm assuming that's how you got to be able to do all these live events for all of these amazing organizations. What are some gems we can take from you with that?
Honestly, I would say don't be afraid of hearing no. A lot of people don't ask questions because they scared to get a no. I'm not afraid to hear a no because I know I'm gonna get a yes.
True.
When I start doing these events, going to talk to people, at the end of the day, I am about business, and I'm gonna do things for free. So don't get it twisted. I'm gonna always do things for free. But when I saw somebody else doing the same thing I was doing, and they was getting a check for it, I said, "Oh, I need to ask." Okay. I wasn't asking. I was just pulling up. Yeah. I was just pulling up to the event. I was selling merch, and I was doing the interviews. And somebody said, "You know, you can get paid for this." And I was like, "Really?" I mean, I'm just coming. I seen that, and I was like, "Oh, I'm asking." I've gotten so many no's.
Oh, wow.
But I've still pulled up.
Okay.
I've done a lot of events for free because it's not about the money, but now I do understand that it is a business, and I can make some money from it.
And I agree. All front-end money don't matter. You get that back-end money.
You're right about that, and it's all about strategy.
Absolutely.
You know, so that's also another gem. It's always about strategy. You might not make the money, but what network, what database, how can you get people to the podcast? That's my strategy. And so many people, so many event directors have seen me. You know what I hear when I come in the gym? Man, you everywhere. Man, you everywhere.
She been everywhere that I've seen since I've seen her.
And guess what? In July, I got three paid bookings.
Wow.
That I wasn't expecting.
Now, the next question I have, because you said I'm not afraid to hear no, and I just keep going until I get a yes. Navigating the no's, what are some pitfalls or some objections we might hear when we are trying to pitch the idea of coming to pull up in that event that we should be able to kind of brace ourselves for so that we could be prepared? Like, okay, I heard that this might be a thing and let me do it. Also, and I'll come back to the second part, but the second part was going to be, what are some common mistakes you see other people make in this industry that you know, like, don't do that. It don't work.
I'm going to answer that one so you can go back to the first part. The common mistake is kind of what I just talked about. Going into something already expecting to get paid. Okay. You're not providing any value. You ain't showed your work, but you want to check. Thanks. Like, add value. Okay. So I think that is the mistake. To me, the second mistake is not knowing what you're doing, who you're doing it for. As I said earlier, there are some people that go to events, they only talk to the top players. True. You got to be different. Okay. You know, Aaliyah is the #1 kid in the country, #1 junior. When she walks in the gym, everybody wants to talk to her.
Mhm.
Am I gonna talk to her? Yeah,
Yeah.
because I got a relationship with her.
Mhm.
But am I gonna make it a point to talk to her? Absolutely not. If we talk, if I get an interview with you, I get an interview with you. But there are thousands of kids in this gym.
True.
So why are we focusing on just Aaliyah?
Yeah.
So I think that that's also a mistake. A lot of people think for me to blow up, I got to be with all the top kids.
Yeah.
My interviews have done really well from non-top kids.
Wow.
When I look at my interviews that I post, my posts that do my non-top kids or whatever you want to say do better than my top kids.
Wow.
You know why? Because they are so excited. Oh my God, I got interviewed.
Yeah.
They are so excited. I can't believe I got interviewed, and they are sharing it with everybody.
Wow. You know, I love that. And thank you for doing the work. I've seen you, since we've been here, you've been pouring into others. You've been making money, but you've been spending it too. And
Yes,
I've been watching you navigate the room. And I love the fact that you understand that. So the other question was, what are some things that we could be better at to navigate the no's, just to get us through till we get to the yes? Because sometimes, you know, we say 2 out of 10, but 2 out of 10 really could be like,
yeah,
you got to hit 80 no's first to get your 20%. You know, so understanding what your conversion rate is, and sometimes you got to hear to know what are some common objections you might hear people say. Is it because you don't have data? Is it because you know, I just haven't been doing it long enough? Do I need a million followers?
Yeah, that's a real good question. I think the biggest thing is a lot of people don't really see the value. A lot of people don't understand what it is.
Okay.
So, and I'm talking from personal experience. I went to an event. I'm not going to say the event name, but I went to a top event.
Yes.
And they didn't really know what I did.
Oh, wow.
Like, they thought it was more, I'm going to go get some video and get highlights. And I'm like, no, I'm personal. I'm fan engagement. I'm player engagement. And they didn't allow me to do it.
Oh, wow.
I had a workaround.
Oh,
and was able to do it. And that they came back like, oh, this is what you do, you know?
Okay.
So I think that is one a lot of people don't really understand. When you go to events, directors are going to pay people to cover the event. When I say cover the event, that's get the highlights, make highlight tapes and photos.
Okay.
I don't do that.
Right.
I'm literally talking interview. So that's almost something new.
Okay.
Budgets are built in for photography and video. Yes. Yeah. So that's the other thing of like really explaining what it is you do and making sure you add value. You can't just say, oh, I'm going to come interview some people. For me, I lead with the receipts of coaches that have texted me and said, I came to this event because I knew you was going to be here.
Okay.
Or parents and players texting me saying, hey, what event you going to? I want to sign up.
Oh, wow.
That's bringing
revenue and everything.
That's
and
bringing
more
revenue.
Yes.
That's exposure.
Yes.
So I think that's the biggest thing. I don't have my first paid one. I had probably 2,000 followers.
Wow.
I still got under 5,000 followers.
And still doing the work. So that's dispelling the myth. We don't need a million followers.
You don't need
You just need influence.
Yes.
More than attention.
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly.
I'm here for it. Now, I don't know a whole lot about the game. If I know I'm an air baller, but I'm still shoot my shot. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to come through however I come through, and I just hope everybody take me for what it is. I play the water boy sometime. I'm good with service. I could do the towels. I got y'all on the towels. When it comes to serving and how people can be of service to you, and even young kids that look up to you and just would like any type of mentorship or anything like that, how can people be of service to you if they're looking to collaborate and work with you?
Oh, that's a good question. That's a good question. I would probably say one, allow me to be at events. Okay. That's number one. Two, I'm big on collaboration. So it doesn't even have to be the same thing. I love women's basketball. I love AAU basketball. I love girls basketball. Okay. So if there is somebody else that's doing something in a different field, I want to connect. Okay. Because I want to build together. Yeah. You know, I think that a lot of people focus on sports and it's like on the court. How many points can you score? How many rebounds? That ball is going to stop bouncing.
Yes.
What is your communication skills like? What is your networking ability like?
Yes.
What does all of that look like? What is your mental
yes
like?
That's huge.
So to me, that's probably of service for me. Like, how can we get together? Somebody else might focus on mental health. Let's do a panel together.
Yes.
Somebody else might focus on nutrition. Let's do a panel together.
Yes.
It's not just about what you can do on the court. And honestly, it's more about what you can do off the court.
To help you perform best on the court.
There you go. So I think that's my biggest thing. Like, how can we bridge the gap and not work against each other? I think that's another thing. You kind of talked about objection, but I think that's another thing because there are so many new opportunities from, like I said, there's a lot of things, sports performance, nutrition, film, there's a lot of services that really wasn't around like that.
Right.
I feel like a lot of people use that as competition. Yeah. Oh, I can't do this because she might get that.
Yeah.
But why we can't work together?
Because it's enough for all of us.
Because it's enough for all of us. It's enough for all of us.
Yeah. And part of this, we still a team. You should get your shot.
Right.
Just because you point guard and I'm center don't mean
girl, you better
you
say
hit your
it.
three. Don't take away from my dunk. You know what I'm
You
saying? Either way,
say
we're
it.
still on the same team.
You
we
better
won.
say it.
So I love it. One thing I do love also, your pull-up game strong. Now I know you be outside and we in Atlanta right now, but I know you came to Cleveland recently, didn't you?
I did.
How was your experience? Because I be trying to tell people it's way more to Cleveland. So how was your experience when you were there? Why were you there? And what was your experience?
Yep. So I was there for the Final Four.
Okay.
I interviewed a lot of different college coaches. I interviewed a lot of different players. And baby, let me tell you, the work is the work.
Yes.
You have to be intentional. That's one thing I want to say. You have to be intentional. I went to Cleveland and I made sure I stayed at the host hotel. Let me take that back. I did not stay at the host hotel. I made sure I was at the host hotel all day long.
Okay.
So it was sold out or it was way too expensive or something. But I woke up in the morning every day and I was at that host hotel all day long.
Wow.
And I did interview after interview after interview after interview. All right. This is the Final Four.
Right.
That's why I was there and I loved it. And I loved it more because that event, I think, really showed the work. People was like, "Who is this girl walking around with this mic?"
In
this hotel.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that was huge.
Okay.
You know, and I love Cleveland. You're right. There are more. I didn't get to explore a whole lot.
Okay.
But I enjoyed my time in Cleveland. I was like, I think I'm gonna come back here.
Oh yeah. If it's your first, don't let it be your last. Because you ain't did it with me yet.
I
got to make sure you get the pull-up experience. Hey, y'all got it on camera. Now, there's a couple staple questions we love to ask all our guests. It gives us a chance to really get to know you guys, and it gives us a chance to hold you guys accountable because I got it on camera. The first question I always say is, in our industries, people always have this stigma around collaboration, and they love to say that it's not as collaborative. What are some things that you think that we can change the narrative?
Yeah, I think, and I just touched on that. Going back to it, I just think being open. Being open. You already said it. It's enough out here for everybody. One person can win, but why can't 5 people win?
True.
And that win, I guarantee you that win is probably going to be stronger.
It is. You want to go fast, go by yourself. You want to go far, faster, go with a team.
There you go.
Yeah.
One thing, just from taking a thing out of your book, I watch you got a whole team here.
My pull-up game strong, and shout out to the pull-up experience team.
Listen,
I love them, and they love us, and really, we love our city so much.
Yeah,
we would be crazy to come to this, take all the information, soak it up, and not try to give back or try to show what's possible. A lot of times, people are stuck in whatever status that they're in, especially as entrepreneurs. They're either starting or stagnant, and they stay that way because they don't have the exposure or the courage to execute. Right. So we getting education, we getting exposure, and for sure we're executing on the spot. I ain't gotta go home and say I'm about to get Ashley, I gotta figure out how to get to Dallas upstairs
right now.
Meet me on the phone. Man, full flow.
Yes.
Period. So, and I love that you really just called to action because you show us and you help us to shine a light on what's possible. It's people out here, they looking like us. They are thriving, beautiful, and flourishing on a whole nother level.
Right.
The next question I have, because this ain't the end, it's just the beginning. Legacy. When it comes to your legacy, what would you like your legacy to be, both personally and professionally?
Oh, that's a really good question. I would say professionally, I just want to be that go-to source for all things youth basketball. I talked about Cleveland. Cleveland was an eye-opener for me because I would hear so many times, so many people is like, girl, you need to be a broadcaster.
Yes.
You need to be on ESPN. You can be just like this person. You can be like that person. And I went to Cleveland and I realized
You didn't need none of
that's
that.
not what I want.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was the biggest eye opener for me. For me, it's like, and that legacy could change. But actually, right now, that legacy is like, I want to be that for the youth. I want to hit these kids before they get to the WNBA, before they get to college.
Yes.
Like, that is my thing. If I can help these kids understand, one, how to talk on camera,
yes.
how to network, and how to use basketball as a vehicle to draw success on and off the court, I'm winning.
You the one. You got the plan. Oh, we got you. Next question. Who would you like to collaborate with if you could pick anybody in the world, person or business?
I got two people. One, Miss Basketball. Shout out to you. Miss Basketball is from Atlanta. This has been somebody that I have looked up to forever. Met her at the McDonald's game. I met her in Houston. We talk a little bit, but we need to do a collab.
Shout out to you, Miss Basketball.
Yes,
Come
Miss
do a collab with
Basketball.
It's Just Different Pie.
I'm standing on camera because we are going to do a collab one of these days.
I'm holding both of y'all to it, and tag me when you do it.
It's happening.
Yeah.
And then Don Staley.
Oh,
I would love to do something with Don Staley, whether that's me telling her story, whether that's something. I don't know what it is, Don, but we are going to collab.
Yes.
Mark my words. We will be collabing.
Oh, okay. So, last question, and it's probably the most important. Where can we find you and continue to pull up on you?
Yes.
How can we support you?
Yes, please follow It's Just Different Podcast. It's Just Different Pod on Instagram, on all social media platforms. It's on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you follow on Apple, Spotify. If you want to follow my personal page, that is _This is Ashley R.
Thank you. Now, you got anything else you want to tell the people before I close us out?
I think we're good. No, we're not. I love this.
Oh,
I absolutely love this. You talked about conference earlier. I really do feel like some people come to conferences, they take all the notes, they do, oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. But at the end of the day, they don't take no action.
absolutely. And we doing it.
This is action.
This is action.
And I love learning from people. I have learned from you.
Aw, and I'm learning from you. This is a mutual thing, and I love the fact. I love you, really, but I just really love the fact that we were able to do this and show what's possible. Thank you for just being a vessel and living proof. You social proof.
Yeah.
Shout out to y'all, for sure, the Podcast Summit. Thank y'all for the opportunity and giving us the network. Y'all missed it, and y'all ain't gonna believe who was behind the camera, but he was in the hot seat this morning, scared to pitch. He done got poured into, got him a little check, and still worked on our collab. Man, we're going to tag y'all in this because I want y'all to keep y'all social proof, keep going. Thank y'all for the opportunity. Thank y'all for collaborating. Social Proof Podcast, specifically Podcast Summit 2024 with It's Just Different Pie and the pull-up experience. Don't forget, y'all, my pull-up game's strong, and I'm going to put on for Cleveland anywhere I go. Always, y'all can come pull up with us. We'll come pull up on y'all, but more importantly, we're going to have conversations about elevation so we can continue to pull everybody else up. That is all we got for y'all tonight. We got to go enjoy hot Atlanta while we can. At least get a nap, y'all. It's been a long day.
Man, I need a nap first.
All right, y'all. Until next time, goodbye.